Hi, everybody, and we're live or we're on the replay, depending on when you get here. So, my shirt's bothering me today, but I tried to change real quick, and this is what I found. So, anyway, today we're going to take a break from Scientology and we're going to talk about breast cancer. Why are we going to talk about breast cancer? Because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I really want to talk about it and get some information out there. And you men, if you're out there, you can listen too, because you have wives and moms and daughters and sisters, and no telling what they could have it. Plus, it's getting more and more prevalent in men. So you really need to pay attention because it could be you or someone you love. And I'm going to do this a little bit different than a lot of people do their like whole breast cancer thing. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Okay. And I don't mean to scare anybody, not at all. I would never do that. But I had no idea what the hell I was facing when I got it. I thought, oh, well, they're going to go in, they're going to take these boobs off, and I'm going to get new ones, and they're going to be perfect, and everything's going to be fine. Yay. You know? But no, it did not happen that way. And again, please, I don't want to scare you. I'm going to tell you things that have happened to me, things that have happened to other people, things that can happen, whatever. And just file it back so that if you're ever in that position or somebody that you love is in that position, maybe you'll have a little bit of information or something will jog your memory and you'll go search it out. Because, man, if I knew then what I know now, my life honestly would be so much better because I was just so scared and so like, once stuff started going wrong, when it first happened, I'm like, this is easy. Breast cancer is the fun cancer, if you're going to have fun with any cancer. But it's not, y'all. It's deadly. It killed 5 of my friends within 2 years. I'm the only one of our friend circle still alive. So please, please, please take it seriously. I am going to go to my chat before we get started. At the very top, you'll notice that I put and so did Mischief. We've both put a link for a GoFundMe for literally Michael. And I'm going to explain that just a little bit. Aaron actually is asking for us to donate to him. He said that he promised Michael months ago when this happened that if it, if it became a legal battle, that he would help him raise the money. And even though they've had what he called a lot of water under the bridge, I'm thinking, no, Aaron, that water was over the bridge. It is like, and it wasn't pretty water, he said. So even though that, he still very much is in support of Michael's cause. I mean, he did not deserve to be arrested and he wants us to try to help. And I thought that was very big of Aaron. And so at first I'm like, I ain't helping nobody with nothing. I'm tired, I'm tired of helping people. Well, I help some people, but you know what I mean. Some of those that have not been exactly nice. But anyway, then I thought, no, I like Michael and he is fighting a battle that he shouldn't be having to fight it. And so I put the link up there. If you want to help, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. I just put it there. It's in my community page too. That's all I know about that. I guess when it happened, they let him out of jail without any charges, but the way that they did it, it left it open for future charges. And now they've decided to charge him. Sounds like LAPD. So yeah, kind of like 3 months later or something. It's kind of BS, but what else? That's what they do, right? So anyway, I'm gonna check with my chat. Mischief Managed is here. She's in the bunker. She's in the back cave, y'all. She's back there, and I'm sure she'll be fussing at me to hurry. So anyway, Mischief Managed, it is always good to see you. Always, always, always enjoy having you as my dearest friend. So Marilee says, "Oh man, it's pouring rain. I can't finish decorating for Halloween yet. I wanted to have it all done by now." Oh, I usually have my Christmas shopping done by now, and I've not started. I take that back. I bought 3 things for the 3 littlest granddaughters. 1 thing each. So far, it's not here yet, but I did buy it. Marilee says that she's been banned from ladders by my kids and grandkids. Oh, my nose. Every time I come in here, my nose, it doesn't itch everywhere else. Something in here's bothering me. I don't know. Maybe it's those feathers. Yes, I have feathers on my dining room table. They are, I'll think of it in a minute. The feathers or the birds. I know the word, y'all. It won't come to me. My damn chemo. The ones with the big flowerful, the big colorful tail that they spread out. I know the word. It won't come to me, y'all. And here we go. We're talking about breast cancer, and that's one of what's done. But anyway, I seriously am looking at these feathers thinking, I know the name of you. So everybody's saying hi. Oh, man. Gary Mackey, I missed who you're talking about. Oh, my God. Did I miss something? Anyway, I'm not sure who. Somebody, Gary Mackey says, is just had their second chemo and infusion, and she's driving a truck. Inappropriate heifers here. Yeah, I love decorating. Peacocks, thank you. I was thinking ostrich, pelican for some reason. I was thinking about every bird but a peacock. So when I get tired, it gets worse. Yes, a peacock, Gary. Thank you. Mary says she usually has at least some of the Christmas shopping done, but I'm really late. Yeah, it's been a weird time. Well, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I've been told. Gary Mackey says it's kind of funny. My BFF had just had her head shaved, and I was amazed. I was complimenting her. I was like, "Damn, she looks pretty good." And we just laughed and laughed. Yeah, a lot of people tell me that I looked pretty good till I got really sick, and then they were like, "Oh, bless your heart, look so good." So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I just remember my youngest daughter, she walked in, she was living out of state, and she walked in. It was probably a week, 2 weeks after I started my first chemo. And she walked in, and I saw her face just go white, and her eyes got real big, and she turned around real fast and walked in the other room. And I thought, boy, I must really look bad today. But she later told me, she said, I wasn't prepared for you to look like a chemo patient. So I was like bald, gray, no eyelashes, no eyebrows, the whole bit. So it can be pretty stunning, y'all. So that's another thing. Prepare. Because if it hits somebody, you don't want to be shocked and be like, and make them feel worse than they do. My daughter was like, I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm like, honey, no, it's fine. I wasn't telling her how bad it was. So anyway, so hello, everyone. We're going to talk about breast cancer today. But some of this will actually fit any cancer or any chemo patient. So, it's not just breast cancer. It's just mainly breast cancer because that's where I'm at right now. Alan, I see you. It's good to see you. I'm going to try to remember that is my first one to check on. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and talk about this. And then after that, I'm going to go lay down and rest and watch me some Bondi Rescue. I need to go open my hoodie. I ordered a hoodie. So I'll be wearing a hoodie around. Uh, I'm gonna share y'all at least some of my experience, and I do have a full video on my channel that goes into the whole thing. So if you want to go back and watch that, it would tell a whole lot more than what I'm going to tell here. I'm just going to, hit on it a little here and there. It's not a video about me, really. It's about breast cancer in general. I'm going to share some of the side effects of breast cancer that no one wants to tell you. I think they think we're too delicate, right? Ugh. But we're strong enough to experience it, so we're strong enough to hear about it, y'all. I don't want to scare you, and I do want to warn you because no one warned me. Whenever I got diagnosed, man, because I felt fine. I didn't have any symptoms. Man, I went out, I ordered every pink thing I could find, which I love pink anyway, obviously. But I mean, I ordered all this pink stuff and all these anything that had a ribbon on it or fight like a girl or any of that stuff. I bought it and I was just excited. I thought, I have hated these boobs for years. I had very large breasts. I did not like them. And I thought, they're going and I'm going to get the perfect boobs. Life is going to be great. But it wasn't. So my advice on that is celebrate those pink ribbons. Get you some of them if you want them. If it's breast cancer, they have ribbons for every kind of breast cancer or every kind of cancer you can imagine. I think it's funny because kidney cancer is orange. So I have orange and pink, orange for Mark and pink for me today. So anyway, and orange is his favorite color. So it worked out pretty good. So celebrate those ribbons, buy all of them you want, but don't go crazy because at some point you're going to be like, F these ribbons, F this cancer, F this, F everybody. You're going to just be like, ugh, I'm sick of it. Because y'all, having breast cancer isn't about saving the tatas or saving second base or fighting like a girl. All those Cancer Society for breast cancer are, in my opinion, a whole lot of crap. And they can be culty as crap. I can't remember her name, Susan something. Anyway, hers, they actually called me and wanted to use some pictures that they found of me at a walk that I did and in off of my doctor's website and use them to show people who they had helped. And I said, "But you haven't helped me." And they said, "Well, not everybody qualifies and blah blah blah." And I said, "Well, if I don't qualify and you have not, cannot, whatever, help me, no, you can't use my pictures. I'm not going to stand here and say, oh, they helped me so much." And so, no, they didn't help me at all. Nobody did. I looked into all of the breast cancer organizations and nobody helped me with anything because Mark made too much money. So, I don't know. That's just what they said. Anyway, so y'all find yourself some big girl panties and pull them on up. Buy some warm, comfy clothes. That's more important than those ribbons. If they happen to have ribbons on them, all the better, I guess. You know, it doesn't have to be pink. It can be whatever color you want. You're in for a fight, but not like a girl. Unless that girl is a prize fighter, because you're going to fight, y'all. You're going to have to fight. This kind of sucks, y'all. I mean, the whole breast cancer thing does, but just keep those big girl panties pulled up because they'll give you strength and they won't bind you or cut across your butt or in your butt because you need to be comfortable. And you're not going to want anything that's like sliding up and down the butt. You don't want nothing. Yeah, you're not going to want it. We are tougher than the storm. We are the storm, as they say. You can pray, you can cry, you can talk, you can scream. Whatever you need to do is all right. But remember, oh, I'm sorry. You can read a book, but don't expect to always remember what you read. That's what I was like, I don't, it just has read. And don't be shocked if you gain weight. Okay. Because I know I went into it and I thought I'm going to have new boobs. I'm going to lose a bunch of weight. Yeah, I'm going to be sick for 8 months, but then I am going to be like, hot. Didn't work out that way at all. Don't wallow in pity for more than 5 minutes at a time. I kept myself to a 5 minutes per day. Sometimes that was a cry in the shower. Sometimes it was just laying there, just having a pity party. Sometimes it was like just griping to a friend or my daughter or something. I see you down there, Reese. You don't have to keep butting me in the arm. But if you really just set you a limit, and it might be 20 minutes, whatever you think you need. But I set mine at 5 because I knew I had to pull it together. But allow yourself those little pity parties every once in a while, but just don't wallow in them, is my point. Okay? You have to take care of you. Take a bath or a shower because it's real easy to just lay around or sit around and think, well, I didn't do anything. I can't be dirty, right? Might not make sense now, but I promise you, if you go through it, it will make sense. It just will. But no, put on some cute pajamas or some kind of lounge wear, sweats, whatever you're comfortable in. Just put something on that's comfortable. Sit back with a cup of tea or coffee or water, drink lots of water, read a book, watch a movie on TV, whatever you want to do. But on your downtime, because some people still have to work through it. I never did, thank God, because I couldn't have. And just take time for you. Put on your perfume. Put on maybe some mascara until you lose your lashes. Maybe some lipstick. Put some moisturizer on. Put something on that makes you feel like you've kind of taken care of yourself. And men, that goes for you too. You need to take care of yourself. Shave. Don't lay around and look like Grizzly Adams. This is, we're not in the, most of us are not out in the woods living with the bears. So keep yourself clean. That's a big, big deal. Breast cancer is not cute, it's not fun, and it is not easy. It's hard, it's ugly, and it is deadly. It's also beatable. And you need to remember that it is beatable, or it is something you can live with. I'm going to live with it for a long, long time. I'm not giving up. They really can't treat it at this point. After I finish this chemo, it's not something that they can really treat, which is not easy to hear. But I'm not going anywhere. And my oncologist says I'm not going anywhere. So you got to keep your head up. You got to keep the faith, and you got to believe that you're going to make it. Just remember that if you just keep plugging along every day, that after a while you will again be yourself. Maybe stronger, maybe even a better version of yourself. This time when I got breast cancer, I did become, I was never mean, but I was, kind of a hothead sometimes. I was kind of, newspaper business, it makes you like, it takes a toll. But with this round of chemo and everything, I have become a much kinder, gentler person. I still have my moments, but not all the time. So anyway, now I'm going to dig in to what I actually was going to say. That was just kind of an intro that kind of went forever. Ugh. So most of you who follow my channel know that I'm currently fighting my third battle with breast cancer. If not, surprise, I have breast cancer. And I'm currently going through chemo. And yes, I'm aware I'm not bald. It's actually growing back. It's a completely different color, and it's curly now, which it was always stick straight. So don't know what's going on with that, but they say that it's kind of normal. But here's fact number one. I'll sprinkle them throughout this whole live, just like little facts here and there. Not all chemo makes you go bald or lose any hair. Some people lose some people lose none. Some people go bald and never grow their hair back ever, or any kind of, normal hair. I know someone who had breast cancer that she's been bald for like 6 years, and they don't think she's ever going to grow her hair back. She doesn't have her eyelashes or eyebrows or any hair anywhere else on her body. Just another little tip. When it falls out, it all falls out. I still don't have any hair on my legs or my underarms or on my arms. It's got hair on my head, but everywhere else is just like, no, not going to do it. So anyway, the first time that I had chemo, my hair fell out immediately. Immediately. Like, it was less than a week. And that was 13 years ago. And we had a party before it fell out. As soon as it started acting like it was going to fall out, I gathered all my best girlfriends and my best, my closest female family, my mom, my aunt, my girls, that kind of thing. And we had a party. Okay? We had a party at my dear, dear friend's medical clinic. She's my doctor, y'all. So anyway, one of them. So we went there, and it was already starting to fall out, but we ate, we laughed, we tried on multiple wigs. I think I had 12 or 14 wigs there, all different lengths and colors and styles and everything. And we all tried them on, and we took pictures of each other with all these wigs on, and we just laughed and cried and talked. But it was, it wasn't we tried not to be a sad cry. We were laughing till we cried, and knowing what was facing me, but also knowing that I was going to be okay because I had my girls, right? I had all of them. I bought all those wigs in Savannah at like a beauty supply store, and they were like cheap. Like, most wigs are expensive, and I was getting them for like $10, $15 or something. And they were nice. Some of them were human hair, and they were nice. But I ended up selling them because, anyway, I remember my hat. I had a cap on, something about breast cancer, of course. And we went to the fair, and I had always been scared. I know this is silly. I rode all kinds of roller coasters, all my life, but I was scared of the Ferris wheel. And Mark said, "Come on, I'll go with you. We'll go in it." And what I was afraid of was other people in our little cart thing, because it was one with the cart, not just a seat. And I was afraid that people in there would get to swing in it and everything, and that always scared me. So this one had the cart, but we had, I think it was Katie with us. And anyway, so we went on this Ferris wheel. Well, my hat blew off. And by the time we got down there, somebody had stole it, and I was so upset. So upset. And we had to leave immediately, y'all, because I couldn't deal with it. I was in public, and I was bald, and I was humiliated. And I was mortified, honestly, mortified. So I didn't have any eyelashes, any eyebrows. I mean, it was clear that I had cancer and was going through chemo, but I had never been out of my house without something on my head, which you could still see that I was bald, but still, it was emotional. And then I remember a spur of the moment trip that we made to this friend of ours has a steakhouse here in the town that we live by, and me and the girls, ow, Macy, quit. She wanted to bite my toes all the time. Even when I have socks on, she still bites them. But anyway, me and Megan and Katie wanted to go. My mom might have been with us. I imagine she was. She was always with us. But anyway, we wanted to go have lunch at this steakhouse, and we were going to try out this new thing they had. And so here we go. And I rushed around, right? And I run out of the house and get in the car, and we all leave, and we get about halfway to the restaurant, and I catch a glimpse of myself in the mirror, and I realize I don't have a hat or a scarf on. I completely lost it. I was crying and shaking and everything. Megan pulls over. Um, we were gonna go back, and I just pulled it together, and I said, "Just go. Just go. I don't care." Which I did care, but I told him I didn't care, and we went, and everybody was just treating me normal. They treated me exactly how they treated me before I was bald when we got there. All the waitresses that I've known for years, the owner came out. He did kiss me on top of the head. And he's kinda easy on the eyes, y'all. Kinda easy. So that was my first foray without any kind of head covering, and I very rarely ever wore one after that. I mean, I would if it was cold, I'd wear a hat, or if it was really sunny, I would wear a hat to keep it off of my face and not burn my head because your skin's real sensitive. And so, but for the most part, I was a bald eagle everywhere I went after that. So you do you, you know? I sold my wigs and I just went all natural. But if you want to wear a hat or a wig or a scarf or whatever, do it. This does not matter what I did or what anybody else did. Wear whatever you want or don't wear it. And it's kind of fun in a way, kind of, you don't have to wash your hair all the time. You don't have to fix your hair all the time, you know, and it's just people kind of give you grace if you go to the grocery store and you're walking around and you got your house slippers on instead of real shoes. I've even done that and gone out to dinner and looked down and been like, "Oh my god, I have my slippers on." And some of my slippers are like cows, like not just cow print. I'm talking like they look like a cow. Excuse me, they look like a cow. So you can imagine. Ugh. But let's talk about some symptoms, okay? Okay, and there are hundreds, hundreds. There's a lot, but the main symptoms are there are I don't know 8, I think. Yeah. Anyway, a new lump in the breast or armpit. Mine was on the very bottom of my left breast, almost up against my chest wall. Like it was just almost not in my breast. And I found it in a self-exam. So do those. They work. I found it and the very next day I went back over to Bronwyn, my doctor friend, and before I even said anything about it, she said, "What's this?" And I said, "I wanted to talk to you about that." But I watched her face go completely pale. And I knew right then that it was breast cancer just by the look on her face. And but here I am, right? We caught it early. That one we caught really early. Number 2, thickening or swelling on part of the breast. I never had that one, but some people do. Irritation or dimpling on the skin. I didn't have that, but a friend did. Her skin got real kind of crepey looking around a certain spot. It wasn't the whole breast, it was just a certain spot, and that's where they found the cancer at. So now you guys remember this could be for you men too. Okay, red or flaky skin in the nipple area. I didn't have that one either, but I know some people that have. I talked to them in chemo. Number 5, the nipple inverting or hurting. I didn't have that either. Number 6, nipple discharge other than breast milk, because sadly, a lot of people find their breast cancer when they're still nursing. They just had a baby. And sometimes that dripping or discharge can be blood. So, if it's something like that, watch. Number 7, any change of size in the breast. I didn't have that either. And number 8, pain in the breast. I didn't have that either. So basically, only one I really had was that I found a little pea size. It felt just like a BB or a pea or a BB. It felt like that is what it felt like. That's about the size that it was. And anyway, they didn't think it was cancer because it was perfectly round. It wasn't kind of jaggedy looking or anything. It was just like this perfect little BB in there. And they said, "I don't think it's cancer." My doctors were like, "We're going to take it out, but I don't think it's cancer." But it was. So just, trust. So if I had not done that self-exam, I wouldn't be here today. I'd I'd be gone because that cancer would have just grown and grown and grown if I didn't do self-exams. Fan is not in the right place. Oh gosh. How about some common myths? Okay. These are kind of interesting. Number one, most women with breast cancer have a family history of the disease or a genetic mutation. That's actually wrong. We hear that all the time. First thing they says, is there any, do you have any family, that's had breast cancer, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. Literally only 10 to 15% of breast cancer is caused by an inherited mutation. Having a first or second degree family member that has it does increase your chances of getting it, though. It's odd because I was diagnosed and almost to the day later, or almost to the day later, a year later, my mom was diagnosed. So we naturally assumed that, well, it's some kind of hereditary thing, right? And so we both did all of the testing. They have all this genetic testing that they do, and we both did that. I did it twice actually because I didn't believe them. And it said that neither one of us were predisposed to have breast cancer at all. So that wasn't it. I mean, it was just kind of like dumb luck. So, you know, okay. Two, I don't, oh, only women are diagnosed with breast cancer. I was like, what is that word? Although 310,702 women will have breast cancer this year, so will 2,790 men. So there's 2,790 men out there that are going to get breast cancer. And that's why I want you all to listen to this and keep an eye on yourself. Keep an eye on your sons, your dads, keep an eye on, everybody. Everybody out there needs to start doing some kind of self breast exam. Because if you've got breast tissue, you can get breast cancer, which means babies can get it. 90-year-olds can get it, and anybody in between. My girls do get tested. Megan actually gets tested. She gets a mammogram every year and a ultrasound every year. So she gets a mammogram, and 6 months later she has an ultrasound. And then 6 months later she has a mammogram, and 6 months. And they're going to start doing that with Katie too. They're waiting until she turns 40. So she's in her 30s right now. So she doesn't have long. She's in her late 30s. So it won't be long. Only older people get breast cancer. Nope. That's not true either. The risk does go up with age, and it seems to get more dangerous after the age of 50. But in the last 5 years, breast cancer in women under 50 has increased by more than 2% each year. So younger and younger women are getting it every year. It's going up by at least 2%. And it's scary because the younger you are when you get breast cancer, it seems like the tumors are more aggressive, and they don't know why. But it does seem like that. It seems like a lot of the older women that get it have very non-aggressive tumors, and the ones that are above 50 get very aggressive tumors. And so, y'all, please check yourselves. Number 4, you can't take any steps to reduce your risk. There's no way to totally prevent breast cancer. And I had both breasts removed 13 years ago. And I've gotten breast cancer twice since then. And I don't even have breasts. I have next to no breast tissue left. But it gets in that very fine line between my skin and whatever. I don't know all those words, but it gets in that. But it's still breast cancer. I just don't have any breasts. So Even having them removed is not a sure sign, because my daughters are like, they were both, and still do, talk about having um, preemptive mastectomies. And they're young and healthy and everything, and they would be able to go through reconstruction. My oldest daughter says she doesn't think she would try because we have so many autoimmune diseases, and they think that's a lot of the reason that I was having so much trouble, because I have tried repeatedly to have reconstruction and it fails badly every time. So another thing is there are 4 types of breast cancer, 4 main types, and then they have like little offshoots of each one and everything. But anyway, so in my first diagnosis, I had 1 type of breast cancer, and I would have to go back over my records, and I didn't. Y'all wouldn't know what it meant if I did. Neither do I. But anyway, in my first diagnosis, I had 1 type of breast cancer. In my diagnosis number 2, I had a completely different type of breast cancer. So it wasn't that they missed something. They got all that cancer out. It was just a P, and they got it out. The second time, it was a totally different kind. It was a little more aggressive. They had to, really do some cutting and everything in there to get it. And then my third diagnosis, which is the one that I'm on now, I have the 4th and final kind of breast cancer. So I've actually had all 4 types of breast cancer. And my oncologist is just like, I don't get it. I I don't get it. In fact, I don't just have an oncologist, I have 8. And they meet once a week to talk about me. So, anyway, they're also meeting now to talk about Mark, because his is kind of odd too. So, yeah, they're probably like, "What is with this couple?" But you can take some steps to help lower your risk a little bit. And that's, they're pretty easy. There's only 5. Ask your doctor to do a breast cancer risk assessment. It's not just a test, it's a risk assessment. There's a lot more to it, but if you ask them to do that, they will. Learn about your family history just in case there is some that's in the family. You'll know ahead of time. And if you know ahead of time, they'll let you start your mammograms and stuff earlier. So that's very important to learn. It's not just that you're knowing the information, it's they will then use that information. And depending on how close the family member was, it's how much more, concerned they're going to be about it. Know how your breasts normally feel and look. Even if that is you get your partner, and your partner knows what they feel like and look like. But, together you can know what they feel like and look like, because any little change, I found that little line, and it was amazing that I found it, because I'm telling you, it was almost on my chest wall. Number 4, eat a healthy diet. Don't drink as much alcohol. It doesn't say you have to completely quit, but cut down on it, and do quit smoking. And number 5, exercise regularly. That one was out the window with me. Now, at the time, I actually was exercising quite a bit. So, anyway, okay. Now, that was number that we were listening to. I'm talking about number 4 on anyway, so number 5. Oh, the myths. This is myth number 5. Mammograms aren't effective. That's not true. They can't catch everything, and they won't catch everything. But mammograms have saved millions of lives by detecting cancer at an early stage. But if you wait too long, it's going to be too far gone to help you. Improvements in mammograms are happening rapidly. And by the way, it's not fun or comfortable, but it's not terribly painful. Funny story, a couple years ago, I thought this was funny. A couple years ago, so definitely like 11 years after I had had a mastectomy. It's all over my records everywhere. They called me in to have a mammogram. And I went in and I said, "I don't know how you're going to do this, because there's nothing here. I can't get anything up in that machine. I knew it was supposed to be an ultrasound, but it said mammogram on my paperwork, and I called and they argued with me and everything. So I show up for a mammogram. I'm thinking maybe they got some kind of new thing. I don't know. But anyway, so the lady pulls my gown down so that she can then, plop my breast up in this machine, and there's no breast there. And she just like looks at me and I said, "Good luck." So, she immediately sent me over to the place where they did the ultrasound instead, and we went about our lives. So, number 6, everybody's breast cancer is the same. That's a giant no, as was clear by me, who's had 4 different kinds. And even those have like little offshoots that make it different too. So, but it's proven that it can be different every time, even in the same person, which is what I did. A lot of things go into breast cancer forming. Mine is suspected to have been caused by Mark and I went through infertility treatment. We went through in vitro fertilization. And it was successful, but it was a buttload of hormones, y'all. I mean, it was crazy. I had pills and shots, and I mean, I had shots like 2 or 3 times a day, and I don't know, pills like crazy. And anyway, so it was successful, but then I did miscarry at month 4, and then I later developed breast cancer, and the doctors really think that it was brought on by the fertility treatments. So we don't know what brought my mom's on. Just, we don't know. She didn't have fertility treatments. So anyway, number 7, all chemo is the same. No, 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 no. I've literally had 4 different types of chemo, and that was just the infusions. 5, actually. I've actually had 5 because I did 2 of them at one time. So, yeah, I've had 5 different kinds of chemo infusions, and now I'm on the pills that I take 3 of these giant horse pills in the morning at breakfast and 4 of the giant horse pills in the evening at dinner. And I'd rather have the infusions. But some people love the pills. So don't take my experience as the absolute, this is what it's going to be. Number 8, everybody throws up with chemo. Not true. I had 8 months of chemo 12 years ago, an entire year and a half, just, currently. And I've never thrown up once. I've thrown up, but it wasn't due to chemo. It was, I had a stomach virus or something and I threw up, but it didn't have anything to do with chemo. And it depends on the chemo that you're taking, your tolerance of it. And if you take the anti-nausea medicine that they give you, I have 2 different ones. And if I'm having a day where I kind of feel a little nauseous, which is like right now, I definitely take them. So, number 9, surgery is a one and done. No. Even if you have a double mastectomy, you're probably not done. They will usually go back in and do either a reconstruction or a scar revision. Because y'all, when I came out of there and I looked at my breast a few days later, those you can go to the bakery and get those, they call them like a bear claw. They're like some kind of cinnamony kind of thing, and it like looks like a bear claw. That's what my breasts look like. And my mom was like, "Oh, it's beautiful." And I said, "You have lost your fucking mind. They have mutilated me." And my mom and aunt were like, "No, no, no." I'm like, "I know that it's beautiful that I'm alive, but this is fucking ugly." And I wasn't mad at the doctor. He had warned me, but I'm just like, I'm looking at my mom like, "What in the holy hell are you looking at? Are you not looking at the same chest that I'm looking at? Because this is not fun." So don't be surprised, and they will fix it. It'll actually change over, weeks and months and look better, but they also will fix it. They had left extra skin because we were talking about maybe trying to go in with reconstruction. So they wanted to have extra skin, and so that's why it looked like that. Anyway, number 10, you can have the perfect boobs after surgery with reconstruction. Maybe. I know somebody who went in, had a double mastectomy, and had reconstruction right then and there. She came out with nice breasts, and they're still nice years and years later. But for most people, that just doesn't happen. It takes some, a little bit of work. For me, it's just not worth it. Every time I had it, my body rejected it. One time I was laying in bed asleep, laying on on my back because I couldn't lay on my stomach, and the right breast implant that they had put in moved over into my armpit. And so I'm like, holy cow, what am I going to do now? It was a holiday weekend, the beginning of holiday weekend. So I called Brahman, my friend. She goes, well, I can tell you what they're going to do. And I can do it, or you can do it, or, or you can go to the emergency room, or you can wait till Tuesday when he's back in. And I'm like, I got it. So I literally took both hands and pushed and pulled that breast back into where it needed to be. And that was not fun. I had literally a sock in my mouth chomping down on it. But for a lot of people, it is. They come out with absolutely perfect breasts, but don't be shocked. And it's nothing you did wrong. It's usually something in your body. It's like maybe you have a, autoimmune disease or whatever. You have an allergy to the latex or to just whatever. It's not your fault. So if it doesn't work out, it doesn't. And there are worse things than being flat. When you hug somebody, you can really hug them. You can get up close. And they have amazing prosthetic breasts. I mean, you can't like walk around naked being like, look at these, look at these. But you can wear them in a bra with your clothes on and nobody knows. You can wear them in a bathing suit and nobody knows. And so, some of them are very expensive, but you can also get some on Temu that are cheap if you're not, looking for like fancy, or to try them out before you spend that, $200 or $300 for each breast. So, and some insurances pay for it. So check into that. I don't want to have breasts now. The only option I have is for them to use my own fat and create them. And even that, they don't know that my body won't reject that. So anyway, whenever my breasts would, when my body would reject it, it would send me to the hospital with an infection. And I almost died 3 times. So anyway. Okay, so here, let's see here. What did I do? Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to talk about just some facts of it, okay? I think, yeah. Let's be clear. Nausea and exhaustion suck. They suck. And I am very nauseous a lot of the time. But they're not the worst of it. I had some side effects that made nausea and exhaustion even now feel like a walk in the park, y'all. So here's a few of the side effects that I had, and that doesn't mean that you'll have them. And this is over the whole 13 years. Pockets of fluid that had to be drained multiple times with a large needle, and there's no anesthetic for that. My pockets eventually grew so much that it looked like I had a boob. It looked like I had grown a boob. And I was like, well, this is okay. If I could just get one on the other side, I'd have boobs. But, they rupture. And when they do, they rupture through the skin. Mine actually literally sprung across the room and hit the wall that was probably 10 or 12 feet away. That's how much pressure's behind it. So I fought this for 2.5 years, most of that time I had a 6-inch incision that was open, and we had to pack it twice a day. And I mean, we used a bleach solution and everything. I used to love the smell of that stuff. And because I like the smell of bleach and alcohol, like rubbing alcohol. But anyway, even using that and everything else they told us to do, and I mean, all the sterile, we were making sure everything was sterile and everything. I still got an infection, and I literally almost died. But there's also joint pain, itch, weight gain, weight loss, migraines, constipation, diarrhea, mouth sores. hand and feet blisters on the back side of your hands and on the bottom of your feet. Memory loss, sleeplessness, constant sleep, full body muscle cramps, nothing tastes right, nothing. Tooth loss or they break, anemia, blood. You might need blood transfusions. Your stomach bloats. They call it chemo belly. Your whole body might swell up. You're always hot or cold. You can't control your body temperature at all. Menopause, hot flashes that require medication for them because I mean, there's you're having hundreds a day. Depression, anxiety attacks. I could go on, but you get the idea. Basically, if it can be a crappy side effect, you could get it with chemo. Your body is literally being poisoned to as close to death as they can get you without killing you. That's what my oncologist said. Actually, 3 of them told me that. Oh, and you can also have extreme breathlessness and even passing out. But there's more. You can also get lymphedema, which is painful swelling that can happen after surgery or radiation. Ugh. It's exhausting and it's not painful. It's just exhausting. And it can get painful if you get real big. The blistered skin from radiation sucks too, y'all. And mine, it blistered on both sides. Like the radiation went completely through me, so it blistered on the front and the back in the same place. So anyway, this lymphedema thing, you swell up and it stops your fluid from draining from your body like it's supposed to do. So it's usually your hands, arms, and chest, but it can also be your legs that will just swell up and just, I mean, it can get bad. But they have a lot of stuff that they can do to prevent this with compression garments and stuff, and I wore compression garments pretty much every day. Well, I still do. I have them on most of the time. So neutropenia, it's a low level of a type of white blood cells that makes it easier for you to get an infection and harder for you to get rid of it. It's the most serious side effect of chemo, and I've had this a few times, and I almost died from it. It was 3 times. It was the 3 times that I got the infections, and I almost died. That was why. Fertility. They don't really talk about that, but if you are not in a big hurry to start your chemo and you're young enough, you can do like an egg retrieval, which it does require for fertilization, or anyway, it requires drugs to get you there so that you can get several. I'm going to be a little bit late, Mischief. I see you over here. I see you, but I'm got to get there. Anyway, but it can cause infertility. It caused me to go into menopause immediately. Like I had my first chemo and I never had a period since. Never. And immediately had all the symptoms of chemo. But you really want to watch it with infections. You got to take those really seriously because the last big one that I had, Mark literally found me on the bathroom floor naked with my iPad. We don't know why I had my iPad or why I was laying on the floor naked, but I was passed out. I didn't know, come here from Sikkim, y'all. I didn't know nothing. I kept telling the ambulance guy I was going to shit my pants, and I didn't have to go to the bathroom. I don't know why I was saying that. I can remember saying it over and over and over and over, but I don't know why. I was just completely, yeah, my my blood pressure was 46/16 when I got to the hospital. And I don't remember what my pulse was. It was really slow. But yeah, I was basically about to be dead. Breast cancer treatment is toxic. And I don't know how people without insurance pay for it, but there are ways out there, especially if you're lower income, that can help you with it. And so just look into it and see. And a lot of hospitals are really cool about helping you out, but you just need to not be shocked. Because whenever I saw the sticker price on my chemo, I literally like went into a I went into a depression because it was $46,000 a week for one treatment. And now they love sending out those $1,500 copays, but we also have to pay like $77 a week for my actual chemo. That's my part of it. The pills are way cheaper. So, anyway, speaking of meds, y'all, my chemo pills come in a bottle that's then wrapped in bubble wrap. Like, it's just a regular pill bottle, but then it's like wrapped and it ends up, it's like this big around. And that's so that nobody will touch it. And I have to sign for it. They don't really want anybody else to sign for it. So they have to hand it directly to me. And then I can't touch it. I have to wear gloves and then wash my hands afterwards because I can't touch it. But I put it in my mouth and swallow it. I just think that's insane. Ugh. What did I do there? Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. I'm sorry. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit of stuff that might be a little TMI. Too much information. Okay? And not everyone has all these symptoms. I'm just lucky. I tend to get everything. But I want you to be aware of it, okay? I want you to be aware. And this, I am going to run over mischief, but how over am I? Yeah, we're going to run over a few minutes. That's fine. Maybe 30. Okay, so your pee is bright yellow. Seriously, like fluorescent yellow. And you have to flush the toilet twice every time you go so that you can make sure that it's all flushed down so that the next person doesn't sit up in like any kind of, I mean, obviously they're not going to sit on your pee, but like fumes or whatever from your pee can get on other people and make them sick. Okay. Number 2, your pee's going to stink. Okay? You know how like, if you drink a bunch of coffee, sometimes it'll smell like coffee or, different things, it'll smell like different things. Well, it don't matter how clean you are cuz I am a clean freak. It it's going to smell. Okay? And it's going to smell like chemicals. And y'all, no matter how clean you stay down there, you're still going to smell it. Nobody else will probably smell it, but you're going to smell it. I've actually had people, not just random people, family people, get kind of close to that area down there and sniff, and they can't smell anything. But I smell it. Not just walking around, but like if I go to the bathroom or something, anytime I take my clothes down, I smell it. Or if I'm in thin clothing or just my underwear and a t-shirt or something, I smell it. But nobody else smells it. Don't be scared. It's normal. Don't be shocked. They have really good feminine dry shampoo things for down there on Amazon and odor block for down there. And those work. So do that because it's just you. And it just makes you feel cleaner if you know. Because I mean, even though they can't smell it, you think they can. So, okay. You're also going to smell it on your body. Like, I can smell it right now. And I guarantee any of you could come over here and smell it, and you would say, all I smell is Clinique Happy. Or maybe my lilac bath soap. That's what everybody smells when they're around me. But I smell it. It smells chemically, chemical smell to it. And I smell it 24/7. It never goes away. I smell it in the shower. I smell it when I come out of the shower. I smell it 10 hours later. It's always there. Your teeth are going to suffer. I've got one that's broken in the back, and we're not going to fix it till later. And we got to try to figure out. I'm going to have to go to an oral surgeon because I'm allergic to lidocaine. So I can't just go to the dentist. So every day I get up, I take a shower, I apply this body oil all over my body. I let that dry. I put on lotion, especially on my arms because it's supposed to help with thickening the skin so they don't Can you like look at that? If I touch anything, it makes like spots on me. I had two big old things here on my arm. Right here, you can see them a little bit. Where a 4-pound dog laid her paw on me. She didn't scratch me. She laid her paw on me. And I had that, and it got infected with a staph infection. So I've been fighting that, and it's finally clearing up. But I'm going to have scars. I've got scars all over. Look at this one. See what I mean? Oops, wrong direction. Yeah. I mean, and that's not even as bad as it gets. Be ready. It happens. Okay. You're going to have diarrhea or constipation. You might be constipated, go to the bathroom, and then you have diarrhea. Or you might have diarrhea and then 2 hours later feel like you got to go to the bathroom and you're constipated. Just none of it makes sense. Nothing. Keep you some Miralax for if you don't go, within a day or two. But I have literally done a Reese and pooped my pants, not even knowing that I had to go. Thank God I was home and alone. So Mark told me not to tell the internet that, but I already did it. I've done it 3 times, y'all. It's humiliating. And nobody's there to know, but it's humiliating. But of course, I get on the phone as soon as I'm cleaned up and I'm like, Megan, I pooped my pants, so I got to tell somebody. I'll have to start calling Mischief and being like, I pooped my pants. We already went over my skin on my arms. Your skin's going to do that. Be ready for it. It happens to everybody. By the time that you're about 2 months into all this treatment, you are so over the pink ribbons and everything that you just about want to like scratch somebody's eyes out if they are wearing them. But give it another, little bit of time and it goes away and you start appreciating them. You always appreciate it, but there's just a time that you're like sick of it. It's been when you start feeling your worst. And then you're like, these damn pink ribbons aren't helping me at all. So, these pink ribbons, everybody thinks it's cute. Well, it's not cute. Just remember that when you're going in. Okay, let's talk your chemo bag, and I'm almost done, I promise. I bought like a cute backpack, y'all. And at first, I packed that thing. I packed it like I was going on a month-long vacation and everything had to be in that one bag. I had a small blanket, snacks, drinks, my iPad, my phone, a book, coloring books, multiple coloring books, y'all. Not one. Colored pencils, my journal, crossword puzzle books, nausea meds, gum, socks. I'm sure I'm missing something, but I know I had all that and probably more. I mean, it was ridiculous. But after that first day, I figured out that the nurse would bring me a heated blanket, and that felt way better than the one that I had. I still took it sometimes, just for like a mental comfort, because a friend of mine made it for me. But you're always hot or cold, so she'll bring you those blankets, and she'll just keep bringing them. If you get cold again, she'll bring another one. So they offered snacks and coffee and water and soda and hot tea and juice, and you could have all you wanted. So I stopped bringing all that because, I don't know. And I was usually too tired to use any of it at all. So I literally just slept all the time, or I talked to my daughters if one of them was there with me or Mark. But after a while, because I was going every stinking week, I just started having Mark drop me off. And then Katie would come and pick me up and take me to her house and let me go to sleep. And I would just sit there for the 4.5, 5 hours, sometimes 6 hours, and just rest, sleep, talk to the nurses. I usually did go ahead and take my iPad, and I would sometimes get on there and do stuff, check email and stuff, but it evolved, you know. I took my phone so I could call Katie 30 minutes before I was done so she'd know to come get me because she just lived not close or not too far from it. In the summer, I took warm socks, but in the winter, I already had them on. So pretty soon my bag was light as a feather because all I had in it was that. And then if I had any gifts that I wanted to give Katie or the girls, they were in there. So once I got those out, it was really light. I really did very quickly grow to know the 15 or 20 nurses that were in the chemo unit, but I had my favorites, and I I just really got attached to my favorites, especially. And I still miss them. I had, it's been 6 months, but I still miss them, and when I see them, they still know me. When I walk in and I check in, they say, "Hey, Miss Susie." I go upstairs, "Hey, Susie. Hey, Susie." I'm just like, "Good Lord, you've been here too long when everybody knows you." But I was really kind to my nurses because I know that nurses are overworked and underpaid, and it's a mess, so I bought them little gifts along the way, and I made them Easter baskets, and well, the Easter baskets, I think, were for my radiation nurses, but anyway, just be nice to your nurses because they will help you and they will make sure that you get all the good goodies. And sometimes they'll put you in the private room where you've got like it's a room and you can close the door, nobody's staring at you. But you got to be nice or they're not going to do any of that. And if you even have it available, some places everybody's in their own room. Anyway, I don't tell you guys this to scare you, but not knowing to me is scarier than knowing. So, and my word to caregivers, and this is it. If you're a caregiver of a person that is dealing with cancer of any kind and going through chemo, the best thing that you can do is treat them like themselves. Of course, they need care and they might need some help with things, but still talk to them about normal things. If you usually banter with them, banter with them. If you're usually, quiet, be quiet. Whatever your normal is, do that. Don't suddenly change and be somebody completely different because they need to remember that they're going to get through this and then they're going to be themselves, and they need to remember who that self is, because when you go through something for 8 months, if people are treating you completely different, it's real easy to completely forget who you are, who you were pre-cancer. So that's my best advice for caregivers. So anyway, Alan Valentine, he says, "I could never look at my mom when she lost her hair through chemo. She had wigs made and she always wore them around me." Hey, I understand. It's hard. It really is hard. And it seems like I'm not trying to be sexist here, but it really does seem to affect the sons more than the daughters. The daughters are more focused on she's had to lose her boobs or, whatever's going on. But they're more focused on the caregiving. But the sons, that's their mama, and there's just a closeness most of the time between sons and mothers. There's a lot of times there's just a really good closeness. Eileen, it's good to see you. Alan says, "Hef, I need to take you to see Bondi Beach." Hey, if I come to Australia sometime, y'all gonna have to take me. Aw, yes, please. Number one on my Aussie bucket list after you, of course. Yeah, after him, of course, Hef. Gary Mackey's gonna catch the replay. Totally Jersey's here. Oh, wow, he's only got about 300 left to hit the GoFundMe. That's good. That's really good. I thought it was big of Aaron to do it. I really did. Eileen says, "I didn't lose my hair during chemo, which is lucky because I did shave all my hair off as a teen and discovered that I have a weirdly shaped skull." Aw, you're all right. Yes, peacock. Alan Valentine says, "I just have a big head." Hef and Alan, they're just so in love. It's just like I get a cavity just listening to them. DOA is a fraud is here. Good to see you. I'm kind of going through here fast because I'm in trouble already. Mark says, I'm not going fast. Oh gosh. Eileen says, "I worked through the chemo. I kept my private insurance through my work. Luckily, I could work at home." It was 2021. That's great. That helps a lot. Yeah, Mark's over there going, "I hope I have no chemo." I hope he has no chemo too. Doug says, "Sorry I'm late. Such an important live dealing with dad who has dementia was why I was late." Bless your heart. Yep. Family first. Mark's like, he needs to just join. He's over here commenting on everything. You're talking about having a dad with dementia, and Mark's like, been there, done that. Doug says, Susie, I care about you. I'm praying for you and growing to really respect you. Always know you have a friend in me. That's very sweet. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, bad, Reese. Over here chewing on my toes. Oh, totally. Jersey said my mom was so disappointed her hair didn't grow back curly. Mine didn't either the first time, but it did this time. My dad's like, what did you do to your hair? I think I'm gonna like blow dry it and flat iron it straight and just see what it looks like. But then I'm afraid that it'll come back some kind of wonky, like half curly, half straight mess. And I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. Doug says he's thinning, so he just has a buzz cut now. I always had long hair, but it wasn't going to be one of those guys with long hair and a comb over. Please, no. We went to Mark's, y'all. We went to his little reunion thing, and we don't even know. Mark can't remember who this guy is. He just calls him that weird guy with the comb over. He had like long blonde hair, but it kind of looked like he might have bleached it blonde because it was like that real yellowy color. But anyway, he took a piece of hair from I'm not kidding you, from way back here and went straight across his forehead. Now all this was still bald, but he had this hair across his forehead. I can't figure it out. I could not figure it out. Me and Mark were just like, don't look because stare. Doug says my grandma has breast cancer. She survived it. Passed of natural causes in the 80s or in her 80s. Bless her heart. My grandmother and aunt both. I have a lump that they're keeping an eye on every 6 months. They check it until a year ago, and now it's just yearly. A lot of people do have lumps. Megan's had some. My aunt had a lump that she was just sure was breast cancer. The doctors thought it was breast cancer and everything, and they removed it, and it wasn't. Yeah, mammograms are not fun, but they're not. Oh gosh, they're not as bad as we think they are. This thing. I've got to get my mouse hooked up. Marilee says, Hep, it's like a truck driving over your boob. It's not that bad. Marilee says, Doug, just imagine your boys in a vice grip. Oh my gosh. He's squirming right now. Y'all hitting below the belt. Mischief says she's adopted and knows zero about her father's family. They can still do a genetic test and tell you if, even without any of their information, they can tell you. Aw, Doug says this makes me even more angry if anyone was attacking Susie on YouTube. I've been through a lot, but I'm tough. Pippi Longstocking, good to see you. Just had a heart attack this summer that was caused by the chemo from my breast cancer treatment. But I'm still alive. Yeah, that's why they're keeping an eye on my heart. I'm going for tests in the next few days because some issues going on. We're getting towards the end. Marilee says my niece had reconstruction at the end of her mastectomy, or at the time of her mastectomy. They used fat from her belly, and she got a tummy tuck at the same time. Yeah, that's what I wanted, but I didn't have enough of the right kind of fat. I'm like, I got all this fat on my body, and you can't find enough of the right kind. But when I was down at MD Anderson, they were pinching on my thighs, and she said, oh, there's some right here we can use. They won't be very big, but we can make breasts. But we didn't end up doing it because there wasn't enough skin. I'd have to go back and have my skin stretched. Joel says, well, this has been a very informative stream. I have learned a lot today. This is not a fun talk, But cold hard truth is the best way. I would like to thank Susie for being so honest. Thank you, Joel. That's what I was trying to do. I believe in being honest and knowing. Yeah, asparagus. I know what you mean. Yeah, it has a smell. Inappropriate effort says she thought she did last night because she has IBS. uh, Eileen, you're hilarious. Aw. Hef says she and Alan bonded over poop problems. That's funny. He says, I don't know what you're talking about, Hef. He's like, don't be talking about my poop. Okay. My friends, may we all be sensitive to others, never know what they're going through. Our lives are never perfect. Together, we can all have more kindness and love. May happiness and joy fill your life. Joel has always got some good stuff to say. Yeah, Marilee says, Susie, time's up. You sound like you're getting tired. I am getting tired, y'all. So I'm going to go. I have an interesting one planned for tomorrow. I just wanted to get this one done because it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I thought if I don't get it done, I'm going to get busy and forget to do it. So I threw it in here today. So I appreciate y'all, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Love you all. Bye-bye.